Do your Christmas bills have you worried? How am I going to make my next payment of my car? What about my house payment? Look, I feel that the weight of that can be enough to strangle you. I get it. And my goal for this video is to give you a couple options on the way out. I mean, how I did it, you can do it too. I'm telling you, this is not rocket science. This is actually math. It makes sense when it's all done, right? The total US house debt is $18.5 trillion. The average house has $155,000 in debt. That includes their mortgages, but the average credit card debt is $6,500 to $6,700. And then you couple an auto loan on top of that, you're looking at another $25,000. That's a lot of money. You look at some of these credit cards that are charging 22 to 25%, or maybe you have a car that has a high interest payment. If you have those, it can feel like a trap. You're doing good things, you make good money, you just have a spending problem. I have it. We all had that problem at some point in our life. It's important that you learn how to take control of that so that you can control your money and your money won't control you. This is one of the things I really truly wanted to stress here. And again, by the end of this video, you're going to have a couple of options that'll help you through that process. First, though, I want you to understand there's bad debt and there's good debt. I like Dave Ramsey to a point. I think Dave Ramsey gets it really well with getting you out of debt, but I think he doesn't leverage. He doesn't do the Burr method. There's so many great vehicles out there that if you follow Dave's method, you will be out of debt, but you're never going to get rich. You cannot save enough money to make yourself a millionaire. Somebody may prove me wrong, and that's fine, but I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to leverage things. You're going to have to invest in things. That is how you're going to get to the money you want to get. So when I talk about bad debt, I'm talking about your house. I'm talking about your car. I'm talking about your credit card debt. Those installment payments you make. Those are all kind of traps. They do have their place, and we'll talk about those a little bit as we go through this. But I really want you to focus on bad debt and the good debt, which is debt that actually pays for itself or uses other people's money to pay that down and get you some kind of net worth increase, right? So that could be a rental property. That can be, if your car's on Turo or whatever you're doing for a side hustle, if you've got debt for that opportunity, it probably makes sense that that's good debt. You just have to figure out what good debt is. Good debt pays for itself. Bad debt does not pay for itself. But the very first step that I need you to take is start writing down what debt you have. In an earlier video, in my Track It video, I'll put the link down below. In that Track It video, you have a spreadsheet that has a net worth tab and a budget tab. Those are essential. You have to start tracking your stuff. I know it sounds painful. You don't necessarily have to track every penny you spend, but you should track as much as you can. You need to outline what you have. But in order to get out of debt, I really need you to focus on the net worth or just writing down the debt you have. In fact, there's a lot of great tools out there that will help you track that debt. As you write out your debt, I need you to write your interest rate and your minimum payment. And then I'm going to give you two options. You can use the Dave Ramsey method, which is the Snowball method. I think Susie Orman recommends that one too. It's a great method. You basically pay off the smallest balance first and you keep pressing forward. This isn't math on this one. This is totally feel good. I take out the smallest one first, I knock it out, and then I work to the next one. So I'm making the minimum payment on every one of my debts except for my smallest balance. On my smallest balance, I'm paying everything extra that I can to knock that one out. When the smallest balance is paid off, that debt snowballs and that payment now goes to the next smallest payment. And that repeats until I'm out of debt. The snowball is great for people to feel that psychology of, hey, I won. It's a great psychological momentum that you're winning the day step by step and you get that feel good and that dopamine hit. There's something called the debt avalanche. If you're a mathematical person, maybe this one makes more sense. You start with the highest interest rate and you start knocking off the highest interest rate just like you do for the snowball. So the highest interest rate gets the majority of your payments. Everything else gets the minimum payment. I think that both of those are really great opportunities and great tools for you to leverage. I'll put a link down below to a couple of the tools out there that I know of, but those are great ways to do it. I can't help but tell you how important it is that you start tracking your finances so that you understand how to get out of debt. There's a couple things out there like a debt consultation services. I've never used one of those. Make sure you understand the fine print. Make sure you understand what's happening. I'm probably not a fan of those. I'd rather see you take some kind of uh, loan out and make that big payment and then pay to that loan. You can do balance transfers. Be careful with those. Sometimes they have a 0% for 24 months or whatever. But there's a 3 to 5% usually fee to move that money. So is the amount you're transferring that 3 or 5%? How does that stack up through it all, right? So sometimes that can be a little cumbersome. And then at the end of the 24 months, does the interest start then, or is it all backdated to day one? If it's backdated to day one, that's a ticking time bomb, and I would avoid that with all cost. There's definitely some things you can do. There's a lot of great tools that we have now that I didn't have when I was doing this. You can go to SoFi. You can probably get a small loan, take that money out. Like I said, there's definitely some good balance transfer things out there. You can live in a cash only state of your life. In fact, if you do a balance transfer, or you do something to pay down those credit cards, it's imperative that you stop using those cards. So going cash only is great. Um, the thing is, if you balance transfer from your credit cards to a new credit card and you don't stop using those cards, you've created that habit. You're going to end up with twice the debt. It's just going to happen. It's scope creep. It happens all the time with life. Life happens. We get busy. We go about our day. Things like that happen. Next thing you know, you're double the debt that you were from the first time. A couple things you can do from that. I've seen where people have frozen their credit cards in a block of ice. They put some water in the half filled container, let it freeze, put their credit card in it, and then put water in again and freeze it with the credit cards in the middle. If you put the credit card at the end, you can probably still see the numbers, and it probably defeats the purpose. Also, in today's digital world, you probably have it saved to your phone or saved somewhere as a favorite card anyway. So that's probably not a great way to do it anymore. The other thing that I think is very important is maybe it's time to stop being the yes person, the person who's always trying to take people out to dinner, the person who's always saying yes to everything. When you say yes to something, it takes your time or your money. And maybe you just need to think about that a little extra. Like, what is the hidden cost of me doing X? If somebody says, hey, would you like to go out for dinner after this? Or hey, would you like that? I'm not saying don't be social. I'm just saying be smart about your spending. It's imperative that we get the bad debt out of the way so that we can talk about how passive income is going to help you fire early and retire early. I'm going to retire early. I want you to retire early too. You can't do it paying 25% to somebody else. So again, I want to encourage you guys. This channel is about getting you to financial freedom, getting you to retire early, getting your money to work for you. So I really just want to say, please start your journey today. It's imperative that we take this journey together. I want you to be able to get out of debt. Hopefully these tools like the debt avalanche or the debt snowball are something that resonate with you. Hopefully for your next year, for 2026, you make that resolution that, hey, I'm going to start tracking. I'm going to get out of debt. You can do this. If I did it, I promise you, you can do it. I want you to take this journey with me. I want you to buy your first rental property if you haven't done it. I want you to buy your 10th property if you bought some, or your 100th. We can do this. I'm going to show you some really great ways to do that, but I need you to free up your money now so we can start investing together, so we can start doing these things. When you're out of debt and you have the opportunities in front of you where you can do this, it's so much more comfortable. You can breathe easier at night. You can spend a little more money on that Christmas gift and not worry about it. You have to rein in the spending now, though. As the great quote says, you have to live today like others won't, so you can live tomorrow like others can't. And if you are financially free, you have so many doors that open up for you. One final tip that sometimes works is maybe just calling the credit card company and saying, hey, I have an offer for another balance transfer. I'd really like to stay with you guys. Can you guys lower my APR? Any way you guys can lower my APR? Sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes they'll knock a couple of percentage points off. That helps a lot. Sometimes it's only for a set period of time, but hey, it's worth the shot. I recommend you try it. Again, I'm encouraging you guys, get out of debt. We're going to make an amazing journey together. Hopefully you're liking the content I'm bringing you. I know it's a little all over the place because I'm hitting a lot of different things, but it is going to all come together. We got to get the financial freedom aspects lined up first before we can make the investments, before we can make the rental property investments, before we can change our lives to the place where we can retire early. Guys, I'm dead serious about this. Start tracking your finances. Go back to the Track It video that I had. It's a tutorial on the budget, and it's a tutorial on the net worth. Fill that out. Stop dragging your feet. You guys can get out of debt in 2026. You can get out of debt if you just apply these principles. You can take a big step towards whatever that is. Look, guys, I know how stressful it is to have all that debt and that burden and not feel like you can breathe. And I know what it's like when Christmas rolls around and wanting to provide and do. I'm telling you, you start making these steps today, you can get out of debt. It may take you a little longer than a year, but it probably didn't take you a year to get into that debt. It's a lot easier to get into debt than to get out of debt, but I'm telling you, these tools are great tools to help you along the way. Please comment down below and tell me your 2026 plans. One of the first steps to financial freedom is establishing that emergency fund. Straight out of Dave Ramsey, it's the $1,000 emergency fund. It's hard to do, but I need you to do it. Along with tracking your finances, these two steps go side by side. The reason that you need $1,000 is if you're in an accident or your tire blows out or you have a repair. Most repairs are covered with that $1,000. Now I know it's hard to make $1,000 up overnight, but again, let's kind of line everything out, start tracking our finances. Let's document all of our debt so that we know what we have and what we're budgeting for, and let's make good steps towards that emergency fund. It's imperative that we have that emergency fund so we can stop relying on credit cards. The credit card spending is getting us in trouble. We have to stop it. So in conclusion, I really hope you found this video helpful. I hope you take away the Snowball or the Avalanche method as a way of doing this. I hope you call your credit card companies and see if you can get your rates lowered. I really hope you take this journey with me. Establish that emergency fund. Get out of debt. I really want us to be able to buy rental property. I really want us to be able to buy investments that really truly bring us passive income. Look, guys, if I can do this, I promise you can do it. It's not rocket science, it's behavioral. It is hard to change your behaviors, but I promise you, if you start documenting, you start having that goal and you measure it, if you don't measure it, you're not going to improve it. But if you start measuring it every month and you start seeing where you're at, you will make progress. Look, I can show you how to get your first rental property. I can show you how to turn that into 2 to 4 to 10 relatively fast. And it's easy to do. All you got to do is watch this video right here, download the spreadsheet, follow along, track your stuff. Good luck. Let's do this together.